Hello, guys, and welcome to the Starladder I-League Star Series Season 3. Almost said 2. Got so used to saying that after the last season. Either way, it's day number 3. We've got a third caster joining us. We've had Ryan, we've had just Harry, and now we've got, well, I suppose it's Hugo TV. Do I call you that, or am I just calling you Hugo?
No, just call me Hugo, because you're going to trigger me. Yeah, we've had the trial casters, Harry and Ryan, but now we're at the cream of the crop.
Oh, wow.
The creme de la creme. I am here joining Tom Beers, and we've only got one best of 3 for you tonight, but it is a very good one. Tricked versus Pride, and we've got a lot to say about this one, don't we, Tom?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one because I think obviously Pride, a little bit surprising yesterday, managed to beat XDP. Wasn't really something that we sort of went, oh, you know what? Yeah, they're going to come out and win this one. XDP looked very, very odd, I want to say. Like, a lot of the plays they were making were very, very questionable. A lot of the decisions they were making, we saw some like ninja diffusers coming in from Pride, Maniz just running into the site at the last seconds and getting that bomb down. It was not a team that we expected to see, and obviously we're going to move on to the map vetoes in just a second, but one of the things that was really surprising as well is the pocket pick that seems to be coming in from Pride at the moment is Inferno.
Yeah, weirdly enough, obviously just entering the map pool, so we haven't really had any like top tier plays on it at the moment. But I guess that's kind of their dark horse. We saw the same with Nuke for a while, and we still do to some lower tier extent. It's a bit of a surprise pick. If you get some early practice on it, and if these players have been preparing on Inferno before it came into the map pool, that could be their default pick, which is actually quite a safe one, because you can assume that most players won't have done a lot of practice on this map, as they didn't know when it was going to come back into the map pool at least.
Yeah, well, we can actually talk a little bit through the veto. So obviously we could see the bans coming in. Cash from Tricked, not really a surprise, something they don't really play as a map. And then from the Pride side of things, it's kind of difficult to tell, because obviously we know that they've sort of switched things around a little bit. I think they got rid of Repo, brought in Luz, a player who I think was just playing FPL, didn't really know too much about him, but has come in. He looked pretty good yesterday, alongside obviously Maniz, who has just come out of Kinguin. Obviously, well, a Tricked is a lineup where we do know quite a bit about, like, some of the players at least. Asilian coming back over to Denmark. What'd you think of that?
It's interesting. I mean, there's so much story to talk about with the Trick lineup and Asilian joining. I mean, I don't think it's announced to be permanent yet, and I'm not sure myself if it is going to be permanent, because obviously they've recently lost Yugi to this whole contract dispute with Heroic, and Asilian joining is great, but as a result of that, we've been seeing Maeve pick up the AWP quite a lot, which, while he's good at, obviously, he's no replacement for Yugi. So if you want to argue Asilian's joining the roster, you got to go, okay, is Maeve going to be picking up the AWP full time now, or are they going to, get rid of Asilian and bring in another AWPer? There's just so many questions to it, and there's so much interesting stuff to talk about with the Trick lineup. But they really are, a team of people, or at least an organization, that seem to kind of pick up these younger talents that go on to do really good things. For example, Nico, who's in Heroic now, and hopefully Yugi when this contract dispute ends. But another player to look out for so far on the Danish side, I definitely say, is Borup.
Yeah, he's easy, another youngster, isn't he, right? Like,
yeah,
another guy just coming
like
in. We've seen quite a few actually just jump at us recently. Obviously, Harry had some interesting things to say about Mini yesterday that we're not going to be bringing back up because, I was mentally scarred for many, many reasons. But yeah, Barup, I'll be honest, I don't know too much about him, but from at least statistically in the games that they've been playing recently, their form as well, you've got to say they're beating teams like B-Pro, who are not a bad, obviously, Bulgarian roster. You got iGame, who at WSG came out of the groups. I think they came out top. I think they got beaten by Space Soldiers, who looked incredibly strong at the tournament as well. So to 2-0 them, it looks pretty good for them at the moment, even if they are having these sort of contract problems.
Yeah, and I mean, talk about iGame, it seems like they have all their good performances in China doing stuff like WCA and the WSG. But yeah, I mean, Borup is a recent addition to the roster. I mean, the latest player to join, aside from discount Asilian, he joined a few months back in 2016. But obviously, judging by the lack of experience he's had at a pro level, you've got to say he really is a phenomenal individual player. He's again, like kind of Nico was, the star of the team when he joined ages ago. So Yeah. Obviously, I'm talking about Danish Nico here, just to clarify. But yeah, definitely a player to watch out for. And again, could be another one on the rise. Tricked seem to have made their way up into being maybe one of the top, well, definitely the top five, one of the top five Danish teams. And aside from Heroic really picking them up, obviously Dignitas, well, now North and Astralis aren't going to be making any roster changes after what they've already done. So I don't think there's anywhere really for Borup to go for the time being in terms of if he wants to advance past Tricked, especially with his contract thing with Yugi. But still, he's been doing very, very well at these levels. I just love to see Tricked in more kind of local lands and international lands and see them perform on that kind of level, because it seems like they may be able to tear up online here and there, but they don't really have any LAN experience.
Now, moving away from the maps, the players, we can talk a little bit about the group. Now, you haven't been here for the previous couple of games, but XDP 0-2. This is a best of 3 format, so it's very, very brutal. You lose your best of 3, you're not in a good place, and they've now lost 2, so the likelihood of them getting out of the group is pretty slim. So when you look at that, Epsilon, I think, are the clear favourites. I don't think there's really too much doubt about that. They've got a very strong roster, a lot of talented players. Draken went absolutely ham on Cobble, although the first map, I think, was on Overpass, was actually very, very close. Now, Pride, if they win today, they're 2-0. So they could actually be realistically, well, either of these teams getting the win here, they could be able to position to get out of this group, which I think when I looked at it, at least I was going, Epsilon, okay, XDP, they're probably the one I'm going to root for. Now, having them at the bottom, I don't know which one of these is going to get out now.
Yeah, it's hard because especially with XTP being like the lineup that a lot of people went into 2017 going, okay, these are going to be the guys to shut up. These are going to be the guys to make a bit of noise. And I definitely thought that, but now after seeing the performance so far, really not been too great. So I think they are pretty much out of the groups now. I don't think they can even get out of the groups if I'm correct, because obviously they're 0-2, and if this follows normal group stage format, even with round robin, it's impossible for them to get enough wins to get through now. So either way, it's I really make a decision because help me out here. Do you think who's going to get out of Pride and Tricked? I haven't seen them play against each other, so it's a hard one. I want to go with Pride myself because of how Tricked have had this obviously a lot of recent roster changes and issues internally. So I feel like a safe option is Pride, but Tricked are always a team that like to surprise us.
Well, the thing is, I'm thinking very similarly for Pride themselves, because their sort of roster, I'm looking at it and going, okay, they've just brought in Luz. Obviously, look at Maniz, he hasn't been there long either. He's just sort of joined. I don't even think he's hit like 20 maps with this team. He's come in, obviously, from another team, which, you sort of say, okay, Kingwin, second best team in Poland, obviously first versus pro. You're not going to get into versus pro. They don't do roster changes, it's not really their thing. So for these players, I think it's a good little roster, but at the same time, I look at it and go, okay, how far can this go? How far can they get without practice in a tournament where, obviously, not without practice completely, but without a lot of practice, when you get to stage 2 and the teams get one hell of a lot harder. Obviously, stage 1 is still, okay, you got to beat Tricked. Then, obviously, Pride have already they've beaten XDP. But if they don't win this game, that's when the sort of group gets very interesting, because Tricked haven't played, so they will then have to play XDP. Then they have to play Epsilon, which I personally don't think Epsilon will drop I'm not going to say drop a map, but I don't think they're going to drop a series. I don't think there's any chance of that. So, yeah, and also the maps. The other thing with Pride is I don't know where they're going with maps. They keep going for Inferno, which in this sort of veto system makes a lot of sense. You go, okay, they can only veto one map. Now, for Trick, that's going to be Cash. They just haven't... I think in the past 3 months they played it once and they lost. So you go, okay, let's pocket pick Inferno. But it's going to get to a stage, say you get to like Epsilon, where they'll just go, yeah, we've actually been practicing Inferno. Or they just go, oh, we haven't, but we'll just ban it. Now what are you going to do? And that's where I think the limits come in with both of these teams.
Yeah, you just got to assume, right, that they've got practice on it. They've got a good amount of practice on it, and that Tricked haven't. It's a real guesswork, isn't it? It's a real mind game. Just hoping Tricked haven't really done anything from it, done anything on it just yet. But obviously, with the addition of Vasilian currently into the roster for the time being for Tricked, I feel like that could be something quite surprising. You were saying it yourself earlier. He's been doing very well in terms of statistically as of late. So he could be the dark horse that could pull Tricked through this. But either way, I think we're going to be heading into the knife round, I assume this is here on the first map. This is Inferno, obviously Pride's pick, and no, this is the pistol round, but Hunden, he's dropped his pistol in spawn. No, okay,
No,
this
is
a knife round.
It is a
Oh,
knife round.
phew. I was a bit scared.
Yet. Something I can do in the meantime is obviously bring up our EGB betting. Now, it seems like the people betting over on the site actually 1.2 to 3 in favor of Tricked. So Tricked are the ones with obviously the fan base, at least. The money is behind them. I can sort of see why. I do think they have a good roster. They've been in decent form, and Pride have looked a little bit sketchy up until the point of yesterday. However, the star man, the man I really want to be seeing, has actually just dropped from the server for Pride. So if it carries on like this, then I'm 100% in the Trick camp. But I'm hoping Miniz will get back into the server. Him with the AWP yesterday was one of the sort of glimmers I was seeing from this team. I was like, okay, not really sure where to go. Obviously, it is old team. I think he was secondary AWPer, and then he was replaced, and it was what, like Rarlan and Furlan came in, and he wouldn't have even got secondary AWPer in that team. Not surprising. A lot of talented players there, but he never really got a primary AWP role. It was always Spiro. Rightly so. But in this team, it's pretty much like he's got the reins. He's the star. He can do what he likes, and it does look pretty good.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to make a prediction going into this one, especially on this map. I mean, it's going to be my personal first cast here on Inferno in quite a while, so I'm looking forward to this as well. And I'm probably going to get all the calls wrong, but it will be interesting. But Miniz is back in the server. Raw map should just be ending in a second, and we should be going into pistol hopefully not too long. We just got to wait for Pride to ready up. But obviously Tricked, they're going to stick on that CT side. And Tom, you've casted this map before. Would you say that this map is any change in terms of how sided it is?
Well, it's quite difficult to tell because we saw at the beginning of Nuke when it came into the pool that we were like, oh yeah, it does look a little bit more T-sided, and then it is a little bit, but then once the teams actually practiced it and got back into the rhythm, it sort of settled down a bit and went back to a more CT-sided sort of role. And I think we're seeing that a bit with this as well.
I think the main reason was because people didn't really know how to control the rafters, right? That was a whole new addition. Whereas Inferno, I wouldn't say anything significantly has changed on this. It's kind of just like a few fixes here and there, prettying it up, fixing FPS, or well, making it worse, in fact. I wouldn't say there's any significant change in terms of how the map plays out, at least in theory. But who knows? We'll be checking it out now. We're going to be going into the pistol round here. Trick versus Pride. Pride on that T side. We've got one nade buy, and they're going to be heading very fast up towards the second mid.
Aggressive stuff from Hunden. Obviously, normally has something else in front of his name, but either way, at the moment, it is just going to be that arch rush. A nice shot from Maeve, fade away, but they are going to go wrapping. Asilian is there and waiting for this push to come in. And not really gaining too much at the moment. All they've done is try to get round the back of B. The flank, I suppose, coming from the normal direction hasn't actually got too much, but Miniz will be there to find one. S-Tag doing a little bit of work, but it's Miniz again. Actually, they brought this back to a 3-on-3.
Yeah, Bomb should be going down in just a second as well. And Trick, they've been duped. This is going to be a free site plant now for Pride, so at least a guaranteed buy going into the third round. But there we go. Post plants are going to be coming in for Pride, and Trick, they're going to mount their forces for this retake. Two coming in through the banana, and Hunden, oh no, just dinks straight away. There's no trade from Borup. He's not there in time. And now these T's, they can just sit quietly. They don't have to peek at all. They have this man advantage. While there is still a kit and a smoke on Maeve, they've got plenty of players to flush these ones out. Oh, out of nowhere, Exus, he just closes down the last two with headshots. And Pride, they're going to cleanly take that first round.
Yeah, nice start to the game. It did look very, very sketchy, though, because it was very quickly realized by the CT side where they were attempting to go. We sort of saw them get caught out a little bit, pinch it in, but I suppose when you're surrounded, just shoot out from all directions, right? And everything seems to just fall into place. They win the duels, they win the round, and now we're going to see the force up coming in from Trick.
Yeah, Deagles and CZs across the board here for the CT side. It's nice mid boost as well. I love to see this. Hunden, he's going to be just sitting there over the close mid angle with a nice teammate boost on top of his head. That's going to be Maeve. And they're going to walk right into it. Oh dear, there's a free kill. Reach trade things out, but there's going to be a lack of ammo there for Maeve to strike any further. He'll go down. And now Pride maybe wrapping again, but this time towards the A site with only Borup now to defend.
One-man army all on the site. It's going to be hidden for a second, but Morels is quickly able to trade. However, Asilian is there, so still doing quite a bit of damage with these pistols at the moment. Isn't a kit left in hand, so it's going to be pretty difficult for them to actually get back into this now. 2 SMGs, rifles still in play for the Ts, and they're just going to hold at this point. I was sort of looking for some aim jewels, but really don't have too much of a reason to push. Ooh, S-Tag. He's actually pretty close to taking that pistol, or take that SMG out of his hands. Minis with the AK, finishing things off, and S-Tag actually just going to fall away and keep this into the next round. Smart decision. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to find too much. Morels will pick up the secondary AK, so only SMGs have actually been lost in this round, and Pride will be able to convert the second round, but not cleanly.
You can no longer get on top of that little, balcony thing in CT spawn, can you anymore? Or at least not without a boost, right? It doesn't look like you can even climb up that angle in the archway.
I'm sure there's someone who can do it with star points.
Yeah, maybe. I think I've played it, and I don't think you can jump up there on your own. I think you need a boost. So
we need Lawless to test it.
Yeah, we'll get
his bunny hop skills.
that could change the dynamic of the map, because that's something that CTC always use a lot to save, especially with those pistols. If you lose out in a retake, you just want to hold on to those guns. But say you don't have the B control, it's a great position to save from. But let's see how that comes into effect in this matchup. And Tricked again, just pistols. Obviously, S-Tag with a saved weapon, and the rest of them just on default. So the Cillian just investing in a flashbang. But Pride, they are going to be walking into the stack, and this could be very dangerous here. We have a lot of CTs in position. They're just going to run right through. Borup's on the boost spot. He should spot Luz, but he actually makes it to the site. In the pool there, they don't work it out, but Luz finally getting tagged down to 50. They've seen where he is. He's going to be exposed to the enemies. And S-Tag, he eventually goes down, but not without a fight. Or going to be able to take down Luz. Morals, another entry going his way, and now 3 players left on the CT side. They should eventually just be flushed out by Pride at this point.
And actually, they're just going to take the smart decision. They've decided, okay, we've spotted all 3 players. Let's just go A. Leave them to it. They can have their site. And we'll just go and blow up the other one. And I think that's fair enough. They're going to leave Exus over here to, well, just try and farm up a little bit of cash with the SMG that he has. And with the A site completely clear, it's just going to be the moneymaker.
Yeah, and Exus, he can afford to stay there, obviously, because he goes down. Who cares? It's not like Trick to going to be using that rifle or that SMG up into the next round anyway. They've got their big buy here. And obviously M4s are going to be coming out across the board. No economy for AWPs just yet, but Pride are aware. We're going to see Exus still staying on this Mac 10, which I guess does make sense if you go into close quarters engagements. You want to play that apartment or over towards B, down Banana. That could be quite useful. So let's see where he goes with that one. But at least Tricked, they are going to have a decent buy on their hands. And this is going to be their chance to get back into the match before Pride start to take a serious amount of momentum. And obviously with momentum comes economy. It's going to be very, very difficult to upset, especially when you're up against the T side.
Yeah, no head armor either on the side of the CTs, so that Mac 10 can still hit those one-taps. See how Exus can actually play this. Of course, he gets all his utility as well, so can still be a little bit of a bank to throw those in for the rest of his team. A little bit more of a support player, but you never know, may just work that entry role as well. Pretty standard split currently coming in from the Trick side, and they're not bad off on utility, to be honest. They've still got a couple of smokes. Obviously, it's a little bit more difficult to smoke all the way across an Inferno now. One of the ways that they've tried to open up this B site. We'll see how Tricked actually opt to defend this. I don't think that smoke has quite landed in the right place, but we are going to see a lot of nades actually thrown in over towards B, and has pulled the rotation of one of the players and actually rotated a second away from the A site. So now with the push coming in towards A, we'll have to see whether or not they can actually hold this down with only 2 players there.
Yeah, very preemptive, but Maeve, now he's just going to go straight down over towards that A site. They will, again, flush in like they did in the pistol round inside of the CT spawn to B. But Hunden, he's rotating in time. He's over towards the library, lines up 2 players, but he only gets the dink. Exus takes him down with that Mac 10, and still, Tricked aren't out of this one yet. They have 2 players left on this site, but no, Mini, he takes down S-Tag. Now they should have it, but obviously Asilian
They still haven't decided. And actually, wait, if Asilian could drop the bomb, there's only 14 seconds left. He's got a lot to do. Ooh. Gets 1. Actually gets 2. That's a little bit too close for my liking. I like that they've managed to basically take both sites, but That was a little bit too close to actually leave that just down to the last few seconds.
Do you want to know the funniest part about that round as well for Pride? They went for the fake in B and they didn't even trust themselves, right? We saw Hunden rotate from A to B when they threw all those nades in, and then they took control up towards long, and you're like, okay, they should hit A now. They've obviously caused a rotation over towards the B site. They've reduced A to only 2 players, and they found the pick onto one of them, so now they have A basically for free. But no, they wrap back into the B site once again, so it's like, why even go for the fake if you're not going to trust in your rotation pool? So quite funny from Pride that they actually even commit to the B site after those picks, but still, I guess it works out for them. And now we are going to see that economy come into play here for the T side, starting to build up. Again, they've got Luz trying to farm some cash with that Mac 10. Rest of them going to be on the AKs, and Tricked just pistols once again.
And nice start as well from Exus, just clearing the aggressor of Vasilian. Well, trying to take map control at the moment. Is Hunden going to be able to get one? He's run out of ammo. Oh, the Glock will finish him off, but he's doing the damage. And, well, now it's just the Deagle of Rock. And a clean round as well coming in for Pride. That's not going to make things any easier for Trick. Their economy is already starting to get a little bit ludicrous. 2 players over the $12,000 mark. Luz may be struggling a little bit with the economy, but the rest of the team is absolutely dandy.
Yeah, but good start either way. And going back into this round as well, we've got to see Trick start to get themselves on the board, because again, Pride, they win this. That's 7-0 pretty much easily, because Trick are going to be again down on these pistols, and that's going to be another free round where Pride can just exploit them. They seem to be fairly effective on their anti-ecos, and this time they're just waiting for the aggression. They know there's a likelihood of Trick having this AWP in play, so they're not going aggressive towards mid early on, just in case he is spotting, but they've got it a bit wrong. The AWP is over towards that B site. It's going to be Maeve on that, just waiting for them to push in, but the moment, Pride slowly but surely going to be sneaking their way up. And here's the boost spot again. We may see this coming into play. X is just waiting for the right timing, but no, Molotov goes over. They're going to peek with it. S-Tag still playing close. That one-way smoke that we saw on the first buy round of Tricked, but will it come into play this time? Pride don't seem to be wanting to peek up against the smoke, knowing the possibilities. I mean, this map has a history of broken smoke, such as the car smoke that used to be able to one-way on back in the day, back a couple of years ago. So not wanting to
Maeve just smoked off the one-way that he had. S-Tag was like, yes, I've got a gap in the smoke, and Maeve's like, nah. Oh, and now Reeds has just entered the AWP as well. This is going from bad to worse. Quick rotation will be coming in from Vasilian. He's going to go straight through the smoke, try and actually help out his teammate a little bit. Hunden will be able to get one, and they're just going very aggressive at the moment on the T side, making their way all the way through, but Vasilian is there to shut them down, leaving it down to just Maniz, and they actually had the site. They just wanted to go for the frags as well. Pride, very, very aggressive at this point in time, and well, we spoke about the star of the show, currently 8-0. To keep that going, he's going to have to do something pretty impressive, 3v1.
Yeah, time is against him as well. He's got to hurry up with it, but as soon as he starts to plant the bomb, he's going to get double peaked. The good thing is, obviously, Borup rotating down towards A is going to give him a little bit more time to work with, but that smoke will instantly give things away. Borup should start to rotate. He's going to try and get this bomb plant on the edge. Hunden not able to spot him, but he finds the leg, and that's going to be the kill that Trick needed. Finally, their first round on the board, and keeping 3 rifles in play as well, especially that AWP that Cillian picks up, is going to mean their economy is going to start to build. Because say you win rounds, right, but you only keep 1 or 2 players alive, you're not going to build up your economy. It's going to be completely gone. So it's very important that you have at least 3 players to start to build up that CT side. Either way, though, Pride, they now have the option to reset. They've got their own buy after 5 rounds in a row, and if they win this one, Trick are going to be down in the dumps once again.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they're going to be comfortable for at least another round as well. They've built up so much economy in the first 5 that even with this loss in the next, it's going to become a little bit more difficult. We are seeing both teams looking like they want to go for a boost here. They may just look each other right in the eyes right towards the end of this boost. Vasilian up close. Got Luz just opposite him. It's actually going to be Morels to win the duel. Going still boosted, and S-Tag just walks back. That's the 2 players on B already dead. You have to wonder now, do the CTs even go for this?
Surely not, right? Surely you just got to save. Spot down mid, see if there's anyone still committing towards the A site or anyone you could pick out. If you can get yourself a couple of quick kills, and yeah, it's suddenly a retakeable situation. But without those quick picks, it's going to be a free site now for Pride. And you can see Maeve, he's doing the right thing here. He's spotting over towards B. If he finds himself maybe a kill or 2, if Pride overextend into the spawn early on, thinking they have the round for free, and he suddenly turns it into a 3-on-3, that's when you start to go, okay, guys, we can retake this. But at this point, no, there's nothing they can do. They've got to hold on to the round and the guns, obviously. And Pride, pick up another one, not as bad as it comes up, not as bad as it seems. Sorry, obviously, because Trickter's still going to be able to afford a fair bit into the next round. Not a full buy, but they're able to get a couple more weapons on there Arsenal as well. So yeah, could be worse here, but either way, Pride, they're going to be 6-1 in just a second. And hopefully, for the sake of Trick, Reitz here and out doesn't cause any havoc.
Actually, will be the AWP that's dropped, though. That's pretty bleak. That trade is so worthwhile for Pride. They've got no problems going into this one. Hopefully, we won't see any more losses. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult, and Hunter's going to die right at the depth of the round. Now, even forcing into this one doesn't seem worth it.
No, surely not. You can't buy around one rifle when you have, most players not even on 2K here. Borup could drop one, but even then, it's 2 rifles. It's not worth the investment. Just give away the round, let Pride have their glory, and it seems like they definitely will here. That's going to be a great start here for the Polish side. And again, they know they're up against pistols. That's the thing. Every single time, Pride just needs to be one step ahead of the game. They know what they're up against. They know what Trick they're going to be investing in, and that's basically nothing here. So let's see if Trick can at least utilize that 1 M4 on Borup to try and get something done early on. But Hunden already tagged down through apps.
They're both standing in the same place.
This is ridiculous, Tom.
Stop standing in the bullets. You know where he's shooting. Why are you still standing there? Reitz boosted up, or I suppose jumped up onto the balcony. And, well, it's actually the player with the rifle as well, one of them that's got tagged, so that's not going to make things any easier. Nobody on B at the moment. So if the T's walk in that direction, they are going to have a very easy time indeed. And it does look like Morel's maybe about to try and scope out this area. I think S-Tag will have heard a flash, so maybe even just making a little bit of presence node could be worthwhile. Just because at the moment, well, you're pretty much giving this site away for free. I suppose you could just save the rifle into the next round again, and then maybe even be able to buy up an AWP for Maeve, or give it over to someone on the B site who could just try and take a pick early on, because at the moment, this B site is looking very, very weak indeed. And to be honest, it's because they give up arch control very easily as well.
Yeah, but now it's guaranteed Pride are going to hit in towards here. They have no time to rotate unless they do it right this second. So it seems that they are going to fully commit, and that's going to be safe for them because obviously Tricked yet to even rotate a second one in. Maybe he's going to be trying to get back into the site, but even so, Bomb should be going down in just a couple of seconds. And S-Tag, he's just waiting to try and execute the planter. But no, coming around the back instead, does trade out more as his pick onto Maeve. And a 1-for-1 is good in this kind of scenario, but typically you'd want him to save this rifle here, considering they've only got pistols into this round. But it's just going to be Borup doing the saving. The last 2 players as well on Tricks are just going to be looking for exits. If anything will come their way, but it seems like Pride, they're not going to be chasing too heavily. And the whole point that Trick is staying alive here, some people may be questioning it because they don't have anything invested, is if they suddenly go down and it's a 4v1, Pride are going to fully rush and try and chase down Borup. But if it's a 3v1, Pride are going to take this a little slower, a little more methodically, and give more chance for Borup to hold on to this rifle.
I actually quite like this pick at the moment from Pride, because there is a clear, well, it's very, very clear that not many teams are ready to play the CT side of this map. And they're exploiting that. They did it yesterday. I think only maybe 1 or 2 rounds was actually picked up by XDP up until like right near the end where they actually started getting some on the board. I think it was like a few clutch plays. I think they managed something like 7 rounds to 1 at one point, just because they was sort of reacting at the time, just like, okay, well, clearly there's a hole here that we need to stop them exploiting. We need to pack this in. We need to stop this. And that was sort of the biggest problem that we were seeing. That teams on the CT side, like, oh, we'll just play it like the old one. And Banana has become so much more difficult. Yes, you can still go for the aggressive pushes, but it's very easy to just lose control of it right at the beginning of the round.
Very much so, and Pride are doing a great job so far. I like the boost in middle, at least from Hunden, but he's not going to be able to spot anyone out early on. The smoke just being a bit too up close there, and Pride, they're going to get away by the skin of their teeth, but they barely even know what they were up against there. The aggression, though, coming in for Trick, they push 2 players down Banana very fast, and Meniz, I'm going to completely butcher his name.
Meniz, do you want to add that one in as well?
Which one is it? Meniz?
I'd say Meniz. I don't know.
Okay, I'll copy you with that one. He's Menini Sekasek. But
Stop.
Maeve, he's going to pick up the first kill.
And Maeve with the AWP, finally making an impact with it as well. We saw in the previous round, he got absolutely destroyed by the entry. I'm liking this aggression as well. Look at S-Tag. Will they spot him out? Yes, they will. Reed's actually going to check. Ready and waiting. And again, it's going to leave just a Cillian over on this B site. The one thing that they don't seem to be very ready for is just rotations. Cillian, you've got a lot of work to do. But he is going to find the first, and there's the trade already getting onto the site. Molotov may slow them down a little bit, and I do like this boost. Hunden going to get 1 back, and this will leave them in a 3 versus 2 as well, more importantly.
Yeah, now it's looking really doable for Trick. They played their cards right. They should have this one. It's all on Maniz at the back of the site. He picks up a quick kill into Borup. No trade coming out. He repositions, but now he's out in the open. Luckily enough for him, Maeve is rotating. Sorry, Hunden's rotating as Maniz. He holds the angle for more. There's a second kill. Only needs one more shot off, and Maeve going to walk into it. It's a free kill for him. Maniz gets himself 3, and he saves a round for Pride, but that is just really, really unlucky for Tricked in terms of timing. The second Maniz walks out into the open, we see Hunden start to rotate there right through the ruins, obviously, and that just gives the round to Pride for free. If he retake from the middle of the site, the pool, for example, he'd be able to catch him off guard. But either way, 8-1 again, pistols for Tricked. And what can you even say about this?
Yeah, I do have to say, it's a bit of an interesting way to play a 1v2, because either you have to play close enough together that you can instantly get a trade, or come from different angles. Instead, they sort of just went, okay, we're going to delay walk through the same angle, and with Maniz on the AWP, it's just like, okay, well, just give me 2 shots, I'll take them every time. He's a very good player. It makes it almost look very simplistic, just the way he did it. Just like, okay, yep, thanks, guys. Okay, I'll see you later. And that was a 1v3. Shouldn't have happened. Great work from Maniz. But now it's 8-1 up, back to pistols once again for Tricked, and, well, the polls are looking very, very happy at this point in time.
Yeah, and I guess while we got this downtime on the eco, it's time to talk about that retake boost as well. I like the way that Tricked have been using this. Obviously, it's not been coming into too much fruition, but once you get that smoke off down into the CT spawn there over into B, that little plant pot boost that we saw Hunden go up on, thanks to Maeve, I think it was, that allows you to get a really good position over the top of the smoke to catch out any T's who are preoccupied with planting on the site. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more of that, especially when this map kind of gets put into the top level of play in the biggest pro games as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how that changes the dynamic of retaking, obviously. But we're yet to get too much sample size in terms of how this map is going to be played.
Will it be a IEM? I'm pretty. Or Vegas even? Vegas is only like what?
It's at Vegas, yeah. It's at Vegas. It's in the pool. Dust is out of the pool of Vegas.
Definitely going to be having a little look at that. See some of the top teams actually play on this map.
The thing is, right? You say that, but I don't know if we're going to be getting it. If we just have bans first or whatever, I don't know if we're even going to be getting it in the map pool for most of the matches, right? Or if any of them, because all it takes is one team to not want to play it and it's gone. It's an insta ban, like Nuke was. We didn't see Nuke at all when it first came back into the map pool for a few weeks.
I kind of hope though, because I suppose in the early set, if there's a best of 1 groups, then yeah, it's almost definite that we will not be seeing it because someone will just ban it out. But later in the tournament, if you only have a sort of 1 ban situation.
Again, you've got to be looking at it like Pride are looking at it. Maybe there's 1 or 2 teams that have been practicing Nuke since before the major. Obviously, they didn't know when it was going to come back into the map pool, but we all knew it would eventually, right? We knew this map was going to be an active duty at some point or another, this year or whatever. So there could be some secret teams, for example, NIP, famously good on Inferno, that could have just been sweating this map for the last few months. We have no idea, and that's going to make all the excitement as well, because what if every team just goes, no one's going to pick Inferno, I won't bother banning it, just go for our default ban, we don't like playing this map, and they get rid of that, and then we see, a team pick Inferno. We could see some seriously interesting matches.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so, because I do love watching this map, and especially when a map like this goes back into the pool after some changes have been made, I'm really excited to see how teams will adapt. And talking of adaptation, Tricked, this time they are going to send 3 players over towards the B side. They have been losing it very, very easily. They're going to go for the deep smoke. Obviously, that point of the map, that choke point, can still be smoked quite easily with just 1. That's the one sort of problem that's come in by widening it. It's like, okay, normally there's at least a little bit of a gap in the smoke, so we'll see whether or not this works. And they've actually rotated 1 back now, so they take control, sort of like the old Freiburg tactic, where it was just like, okay, we'll set him up, he's the king, and then we'll leave him there to sort of do his thing. And I realized that rhymed. That was perfect. Either way, we are going to have them setting up over towards apps this time, so now the isolation of those players might not be too good, especially they're all coming out of apartment. There's only 1 player who could actually stop them. It's all on Barup, and he has 3 players coming his way.
Yeah, a lot to do. Molotov should be able to extinguish at least one of the angles, but he's going to get full flash. Has to drop off at that balcony. Luz is going to be looking for the entry, but they drop right into him. He only gets one. There's a quick trade there. Luz gets that, and Hunden back on the side equalizes it into a 3-on-3. Time is of the essence, though, and Pride, they've not got a lot of it. They need to get this bomb down. They're going to try and force Hunden out with the Molotov. They'll succeed in that. Reitz catches a rotation as well, but Estag, he's still coming in through the archway. He's going to be a real havoc, and he will be able to pick up one onto Reitz right as the bomb makes its way to the site. The bomb plant should be coming in, though, and Estag, he's going to have to go for this 1-on-2 retake.
Yeah, Reitz's positioning there has brought the man advantage back, and now it's all down to Estag. He does a lot of damage through the box. Mani's down to just 29, but both players now trying to play together. Molotov will force him back. He doesn't have a kit. I imagine there will be one somewhere on the site, but he's got to make his move pretty quickly. Mani spotting him once again, and now the time's starting to tick away. I have to wonder how much he could actually achieve. They're just throwing all of their utility at him to make sure he can't get anywhere near the site, and by the looks of it, he's just going to have to fade out of this round. Is maybe looking for a little bit of an exit. We'll catch Luz pushing through the smoke. Unfortunately, no matter what, he doesn't have time. Wondering if he can actually get that AWP. It's looking like he may just try to get it towards the end of the round.
Yeah. Oh. No, that's an AK. That'll do. That'll do. Either way, as you said, Pride, they're going to secure another. And, I mean, it's almost like Pride have just, taken Tricked and they've locked them up in like a mason jar or something. Just shoved them in there like, no, you have no breathing room. You can't do anything. This is our map.
Jars.
Do you like mason jars?
No, I could care less.
I love mason. I love mason. Pride, though, they're dominating Tricked. And we're going into another buy round where Tricked are, yes, they have the economy to go for something, but two of these are SMGs and they'd definitely be preferring rifles on the CT side. Obviously, utility is going to be limited to an extent as well, and Pride, they are sparing no expense.
Yeah, well, I can see why. The lowest player on their team at the moment with $5,000 in the bank. We are going to see some more aggression coming out from Massilian. Does have an SMG. Deep smoke in once again. Are getting a little bit better at taking banana control. The problem is the push is coming in on the other side of the map. Again, they're just going to go straight out of apps. This time, there isn't really anybody there to stop them. One man will be up to try and do some damage, but already they've got 2 trades back. Well, now there's 3 players. 1 kit, which is on Maeve at the moment. Bomb yet to go down, but there's still a minute left on the clock, and they have a lot of control over this A site. Maniz isn't going to make things any easier. Nice pick onto Estag.
Yeah, bomb going down as well. Another round where Tricked are unable to get anything. Maeve in a position to potentially stop this plant, but they're going to be holding it from pit anyway, so he can't even peek out. And Tricked already, again, the thing is, in this situation, you're looking at a realistic retake, and you're going, okay, it's not going to happen. We should probably save. But when you look at the scoreline being 10-1, you go, what's the point of saving, right? Because all we're doing is saving the rifles for another round where we're not going to get anything done. So it's a really hard one to justify a save in this position when you're so many rounds down. You almost want to say, just balls to the wall. Let's just go in and try and get something done, even if we fail. It's not like anything's going to happen anyway. And Pride, they clean up another one, only losing 2 players in that. And this is just ridiculous, Tom.
Yeah, well, this is just looking like a team that isn't prepared for Inferno. That's all it can really come across. Obviously, the next map will be Train, which is a map that Tricked are actually pretty good on. So, yeah. I think they beat Godsent fairly recently on that map. Obviously, the new Godsent, not the old one. But I think we should see a much better show, and then it'll be whether or not Pride can actually match them. The problem is, on this map, we're just not seeing anything at all. They're going to go for the nade spam. A very aggressive push down mid. That's a lovely shot from Maniz as he fades away. And they may be able to get this. Orbexus has other ideas, and, well, they take 1 player with them, but Pride are not going to be too worried about that. Still so much money in the bank accounts at the moment. And with a scoreline like this... Okay, Exus?
Can you not throw guns at the map?
I'm guessing you can't.
That's weird. You'd like to assume that you could, maybe just to stop.
I think you can throw out the back. But...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can somewhere. But again, you got to talk about the mental game, right? Because if Pride 16 won this, which is looking like it's going to come into play, Trick, they've got to be, probably quite triggered going into the second map. And even though Train should definitely favour them, and there's a good chance we will see a third map in this series, as surprising as that may sound, again, the mental game, Pride could really overtake Tricked in that aspect.
That aspect?
Yes. The mental game aspect.
Okay.
Not the aspect ratio, Tom.
Okay. Either way, we are going to see a double ult now for the CT side. We have S-Tac and we have Maeve. Currently over towards middle. Smokes will be going in over towards this A site. The thing is, at the moment, Pride have just been able to take wherever they want on the map. If they want to take over apps, they can take over apps. If they want banana, they can have banana. And you can see, like, constantly Trick to trying to react in a way, okay, we'll switch up our setup. This time we won't put anyone on balcony. We'll try and retake from a different angle. Just nothing really goes their way. Okay, we'll take aggressive onto banana. We'll take control of banana. They go A, and the rotation is just so slow. It's one of those sort of position where I don't really know what they could try and change. Double AWP's a nice idea. But the fact is, none of their players have really been hitting these AWP shots anyway. It's only been Maniz, the one to go styling with that AWP. Now, again, they're going to throw in quite a lot of nades, and just look how easily they fake them out. Once again, one man over towards this B site. It's going to be S-Tag. He finally has an AWP in his hand. Not something we've seen so far. Let's see if it works out. So far, not so good. Already missing the shot. They're going to Molotov him out of position. And this leaves him all alone towards the back of side. One thing that is on his side is the time. If he could peek out and find this bomb, that would be wonderful, but not going to be the case. Loses his life, and now, once again, a 4 versus 3. Make that a 4 versus 2 as Maniz makes it even worse.
I don't think we've even seen a trade, though. That's the thing. Trick just haven't traded this whole round. Every single one of their engagements has been solo. We've been seeing, you know, one solo player towards the back of the site trying to defend against a full rush. We've been seeing 3 retaking players all pushing one by one. And again, this is just a hard match to talk about. The thing is, Trick, they need a couple of rounds so they can play with their T side. If they have anything up their sleeves, if they've got anything, you know, to exploit Pride on, then, you know, they can show it off there. But at the rate we're going at, Tom, we're not going to be seeing a T side from Trick.
It's okay, though. We've got God Hunden with the God weapon. The Pro 90 is in play. I normally don't do this too often, but I think we might need a Hunden cam. Just to see what he does in this round. Obviously, it is 13-1. Okay, stepping in the flames isn't going to help, but maybe, just maybe, Hunden can win them around with the Pro 90.
Good potential. Reitz is holding now the bottom of maps, and if Hunden pushes in, he could technically get a pick there. But again, the bane of the push is going to be over towards B once again from Pride. They've got a lot of players stacked over towards Banana, not committing just yet, just waiting for Trick to overextend, for them to get a pick, etc. I like how passive Pride are playing this. They're still playing with a lot of respect, despite being such a dominating scoreline. And, you know, we could just see them full charge into E, a site of their choice, and 9 out of 10 times probably pick up the round as well. So very, very respectful play. Just trying to get that ADR to a max, trying not to lose your life. Want to get the KD ratio to a good score. And Pride, they're going to be slowly but surely sneaking their way up in towards B, where only S-Tag and Asilian remain. But Asilian setting up a flashbang. We could see a bit of aggression after this Molotov.
I'm disappointed by the Hunden cam. I thought he was going to go for something really aggressive. It doesn't look like it. We're leaving the Hunden cam. We're going over to S-Tag. Nice pop flash out. We'll give them a kill at least. The way the Pride are playing does leave them with very little time if mistakes go wrong. He is going to be caught out. Actually peeks and does a lot of damage. Rotation will be coming in. It is going to be Hunden with the Pro 90. Maybe this will be his moment. Should we switch back? I'm going to go back. Blind Hunden cam. Smoke actually misses.
The issue is, look at the time.
They're going back to A. They're going back to A. The bamboozle. And they're actually going to get the entries as well. Both players fall. They're actually going to get this bomb plant again. How? You needed to delay them for 10 seconds. And both players lose their lives. Either way, it's not looking good. HP very low. Maniz, I think, has more HP than everybody else in the server combined. We'll see whether or not he is going to be the star. Of course he is. Easy stuff. 14-1. Well, it can't be much worse. I suppose if you're looking for improvement, you can double your round score with just getting the pistol. I guess that's one minor positive.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Ladies and gentlemen, Yugi died for this. Yugi must be glad that he's on the bench and not having to play this. Yugi, if you're watching, you better be glad.
Well, I bet you sort of sat there like, oh, you didn't need me, did you guys? Did you not need me, guys? How's it going now? How you going?
You want me on heroic, do you? Or do you want me back? Do you want me back? I can come back. I mean, or do you want me on heroic? That's the thing. Anyway, pistol around we go. Tricked. They've gone for the matchmaking strat. Rush B, don't stop. It's going to be the contact play. Favorite. I love a good bit of contact B, you know. It's going to be a couple of smokes set up as well. So they've got something up their sleeve. They know these smokes. So I assume they've done some kind of practice on this map, but clearly not enough. Either way, let's see how this push goes. Luz and Maniz, they are going to be defending here. A very fast push up onto the site. The smoke's going to give them a free passage to a bomb plant. And all we have to do is now wait for the 5-on-5 retake. And that's where Pride should excel.
There's no kit either, so it has to be very quick kills. It will be S-Tag to get the first of the round.
Why?
Exus has actually managed to get a couple back, though, so this may still be possible. Morales with one more, and they're pushing all the way down Banana. What are you doing, guys? What are you doing? They're just going for the defuse. Cillian is just on Banana, completely isolated from the round. Why? Why did you need to take Banana control?
Why do they need to push through the smoke over into ruins? That's the thing I don't get. You have control of the site. Yes, it's a 5-on-5 retake. Use your Glocks to your advantage. Just play close positions. Wait for the USPs to try and peek you out, and that's when you go for the fights. You don't need to overextend and rush over in towards, Banana or anywhere. You can just hold, right? There are so many positions. There's oranges, there's second oranges, there's new box. There's not new box. I'm talking of the wrong map, but there is new box. What am I saying? Oh,
it's not so new anymore.
Old box then. We've got old box towards the back of the site. And Tricked, they are just not showing up very well. Here's the comeback though. Here's the 15-15, Tom, I believe.
I don't. I definitely don't. We've got dual P90s. There we go. Now I've really... I've got to highlight this, by the way. Maniza's 10 MVPs and is 21-5. I don't normally talk about the gold stars, but this guy's definitely earned his. Nice little gold stars. Either way, at the moment, we are just waiting. A little bit of a fake coming out from London. It's going to be pushing over towards this A side. As you can see, there's huge rotations. Not a single player has moved an inch on the CT side. So, fake not really working. Maniz in a decent position with his P90. Actually going to throw out a little smoke. And here we go. Spray and pray. Gets himself two already. Loves with the assist. He's going to fade back into the smoke. Take that man advantage. And wait for his teammates to rotate in. This is how you hold an advantage, guys. You don't just push back through the smoke. Either way, rotation will be coming in. Isn't actually a kit on the CT side once again. Clearly feeling very confident at the moment. Maybe the T's will just push back into them again.
Who knows? I like the way Trick to play, and they're so passive, and now Pride are wondering what's happening. They're not seeing the aggression that we're usually used to. Either way, we are finally going to see a bit of peeking going on from the T side, and Pride, they should be able to mop it up. It's going to be their round. Diffuse coming in time, and GG to that first map. Very, very close performance from Tricked, but unfortunately for them, Pride, they are going to close it out into a 60 fashion. But always retribution available. Tricked going into train on the next map. Now, I don't know if I want to still commit to this claim, Tom, but there is a chance we could see Tricked bring this to a 1-1.
I think I just want to quote Twitch chat and say that was Min-easy. Peace out, guys. I'm done. Later. I'm out. I'm done for today. That was an atrocity of a pun and a game. 16-1. It will go to the polls. Either way, we will have a bit of a break. Hugo will have some time to recover from that dreadful pun. And we will be back in just a moment, of course, going into train. See you after the break.
Eat it.